Hi guys, my name is Ben, and today I'm going to tell you about the anime Mayo Chiki. And yeah guys, I know my English is so bad, but I hope you understand me, so please subscribe to my channel and enjoy watching this video. Let's go! A usual morning welcomes our protagonist Sakamachi Kinjirou, as she is awakened by his little sister Sakamachi Kureha, with a chain of multiple wrestling moves. After beginning his morning in pain, Jirou is about to get ready to leave for school, when we are hinted at as a weirdness of the Sakamachi family, as they only have tomatoes for breakfast. As usual, Jirou is walking to school, as she would at any other day, when we come across a famous butler named Subaru Kono, who is seemingly quite popular among the girls at school, as she is performing his usual duties for the rich girl named Kanada Suzuki. Jirou is later walking around in school with his friend, when a random girl offers our guy to take something off of his hair, which leads Jirou to surprisingly jog back from fear. Jirou's friend start questioning if he swings the other way by any change, which makes our guy run away from all this build-up awkwardness into another girl's, whose name is later revealed to be Narumi Hakuru. Jirou arrives at the restroom to catch a breath, as we got to know about the guy's fear of women, or what is scientifically known as xenophobia. After just getting out of a problematic situation a couple of minutes ago, Jirou somehow manages to get himself into trouble yet again, as he ends up getting Subaru from early on his tale. Jeremy plays a little game of cat and mouse with a butler and ends up getting knocked out by Subaru using a fire extinguisher. He wakes up tied up in the infirmary next to Kanada from early on, who immediately starts to troll the poor guy. After Kanada had her little fun, she reveals a small backstory about Subaru, since Jirou had come to know that Subaru is actually a girl who is cross-dressing. Kanada remarks that the Kono family had been serving her family for decades, and since Subaru was the only kid of this generation of the Kono, she had to cross-dress and serve her duties as a butler for the Suzuki family outside of the school. After going into a little detail, Kanada reveals Subaru, who was listening to the whole conversation in the bed next to Jirou's, and she immediately starts going on about how she must take Jirou's life, since she has to keep working, as her lady's bolter Kanada cuts Subaru off and decides to make a proposal to Jirou, where he will keep Subaru's gender a secret, while Kanada will help out with Jirou's allergy to women. She trolls the poor guy again by making fun of his name as Sakamachi Kinjirou instead of Sakamachi Kinjirou, and she manages to solidify the deal with a sadistic look on her face, indicating the problems awaiting Jirou in the upcoming future. A couple of days passed by after the deal was made between Jirou and Kanada, and we see Subaru, as her usual schedule turns out to have changed since she has started to walk to school with Jirou. On Kanada's orders, Jirou gets noticed easily, as she was walking with Subaru to school, which leads to Jirou's friend's rise. In curiosity, Jirou explains that he had just met Subaru on the way to school, before his friends reveals that the recent theme had brought quite the consequence for our guy, as a fan club named S4, or shooting star Subaru-sama, has been on his tail, with the sole mission of distancing the nerdy Jirou from the precious Subaru-sama. The club wraps up for a while, and Jirou is walking around in school when he is about to be smacked by a girl yet again, when a different fan club named serves Subaru. Observation committee saves our guy. Subaru runs into Kanada when he was already feeling troubled, who talks with him for a bit before handing a handwritten card that was given by Subaru as a token of her apology. The school wraps up for the day, and sometime later, Jirou accompanies Subaru to meet up in Arkansas, Canada. He set a date to cure Jirou's xenophobia. The lady ordered Subaru to change her clothes and wear normal her clothes for the rest of the day before the two head into the arcade to begin the day. They play a crane game where Jerome makes Subaru seemingly quite happy after he successfully wins. A shift for her the day proceeds, and after having their fun time at the arcade, the pair sits down at the park where Jirou buys Subaru something to drink before they indulge in a little conversation. Subaru yet again apologizes for her aggressive actions early on and asks about Jirou's xenophobia. Our guy reveals that his mother is a famous pro wrestler, and the genes has passed down to his sister, that basically made him a punching bag all the time at home, leading to him developing a nosebleed near women as a reflex from all the torture. The conversation was about to continue, but it gets interrupted by a call from Kanada, who tells Subaru to proceed with stage 2. On their plan, Subaru gets quite close to Jirou and blows in his ear before holding his hand. That surprisingly doesn't make him suffer from the nosebleed he usually gets from xenophobia. Kanada, who was watching from the sidelines, decides to spice things up a little more, and she tells Jirou to use the favor card she gave him. Early, Jirou takes the card out to witness a completely different kind expression from Subaru, as she just wants to follow Kanade, as her master Jirou decides to play a safe hand and just tell Subaru to make a ship sound. Before she starts to walk forward, asking for more orders from master Jirou. Jirou was kind of happy on this date so far, but this happiness turns into pain again as she receives a dropkick from Kureha. In the middle of the experiment, Kureha remarks how she know about the fact that Subaru is a boy who is cross-dressing as a girl before she tries to get violent again, but the little girl's wrestling moves end up failing against Subaru as she easily kicks Kureha to make her leave while crying like a baby. Jirou decides to head back home after remarking that Kureha was the one that found her and finds Kureha's teddy bear in a really bad condition at home, which make him think that Kureha must have been really mad at Subaru. The next day arrives, and after Kureha seems to be still angry at Subaru, who had just arrived to walk with Jirou, our pair comes to know about the trouble, awaiting them in the form of the physical examination. The test did seem quite problematic, but Jirou and Subaru somehow managed to cover for each other and crawl through the hall. Identity and genophobia intact the activities for school conclude for the day, and Jirou walks at a rooftop of the school building to eat together with Subaru. As the two talk for a bit, Subaru opens up to Jirou a lot since she had developed trust towards our guy, and she ends up falling asleep on Jirou's shoulder from all the exertion. Kanade pulls up from out of nowhere yet again, and she remarks how Jirou did not get a nosebleed this time despite being in contact with Subaru, making it clear that the crew was on the right path to solve our guy's fear of women. Jirou hacks back home after the busy day and meets Kureha, who was awaiting him back at home, as she asks about the relationship between Jirou and Subaru before revealing that she had developed romantic feelings for Subaru, making Jirou think questionable stuff since she was aware of the popular butler's real identity. Sometime passes, but as Jirou's usual life continues at Honor Academy, and one day he is on the rooftop with Kanade, remarking about some stuff came up due to an event between his little sister Kureha, and Subaru. Kanade reassures them that there is nothing to worry about his little sister, as she had been watching her from a distance, all alone, leading Kureha to come up. Plus Kanade sees the moment as fitting and decides to pick on Jirou, as always, after claiming that she had been dating Jirou to Kureha. However, to poor Jirou's dismay, despite all the backing, Kureha still seems to be reluctant into buying into that story later on. Kanade sets up a double date at the swimming pool and meets up with Kureha and Jirou outside the location as she was waiting with Subaru. On their time outside, we get know about how Kanade and Subaru were kidnapped when they were little kids, and how that event supposedly affected Subaru's whole life, forcing her to act a butler. The date continued, and Jirou had to jump into the pool to save a little girl that made him pass out from a nosebleed due to his genophobia. He wakes up to Subaru on a bench, where the story takes a little twist as some random caller phones Subaru to reveal that he had kidnapped Kanade and Kureha. Subaru, who was determined to head to the construction building, starts to tremble after finding out about a knife, revealing Subaru's agmophobia, or the fear of sharp objects to use despite being in a bad state. Subaru, who still intends to save Kanade, and Kureha tries to drag herself to the building when our nerd steps up and knocks Subaru out. For her own good, Jirou decides to go into the building himself, where he confronts the masked sniper, who literally beats the crap out of our nerdy protagonist. The guy pulls out a knife on Jirou and is about to stab him when Subaru arrives and defeats the kidnapper. Overcoming her agmophobia, Subaru turns to Kanade, and the kidnapper, who was just Subaru's father, all along comes to celebrate Subaru overcoming her fear. When Jirou ends up passing out from the beating hit, Jirou wakes up at Suzuki residence, where he is welcomed by Subaru's father. Nagari, calm now, Jirou gets into a little petty argument with Nagari before Kanade comes up to apologize for the inconvenience she caused, after revealing that she was the one who had planned the whole kidnapping. Freaking out, she reveals that she was feeling bad for what their childhood event had been doing to Subaru's mental state to his day, and just wanted to help Subaru out since she had been so pressured all alone in her duties. As Kanade's butler Subaru later comes into Jirou's room and gives him a hug while she sheds tears about how sad she would be if her first friend had gotten. Stop telling Jirou to please refrain from such dumb heroic actions in the future. The cute little bloody moments the head gets disrupted when Kureha pulls up to the room in her usual chaotic manner, revealing the news of Jirou dating Kanade to Subaru, leading Jirou to run around from both Kureha and Subaru. With Kanade, the golden week arrives for Jirou after the race and kidnapped event, and she finally starts the day of win a normal way with a nice cup of noodles for breakfast with the double rings, and we see Subaru and a cat girl attire waiting outside Jirou's place, where he is still mesmerized from the sight he just witnessed. Jirou receives a call from Kanade, who reveals that Subaru will be staying at Jirou's place since some complications made her have to leave the Suzuki residence. Jirou accepts the cute little butler without thinking much, and after he he has breakfast with Subaru. Jirou reveals that he has a couple of days, often with Kureha, out for handcrafting. Plus he plans to spend his time easily, slacking off at his place, the world. Slacking off doesn't fit right with the butler, and she forces Jirou to do some endurance training with her, as a Jin courier who had returned home earlier than expected after breaking, and are fighting a bear, is really happy to find out about how Subaru will be their personal assistant for the time being when some more complications end up in the equations, as Kanada also joins the family in a May costume revealing that she will be serving Jirou. As well, Jirou reacts as expected. Wei tells Kanada to leave at the house. Already has an incredible butler. Starting a competition of servants between Kanada and Subaru, the duel had just started between the girls when something out of the ordinary happens, as Jirou ends up falling sick from a cold. Subaru decides to nurse him back to health and uses some questionable methods, in the process bringing nothing but misery to Mr. Chiki and Kanada arrives in the room afterwards and reveals that she had come to get Subaru back to the mansion just like Jirou had anticipated. She takes our sick protagonist outside where they meet Nageri, who has also been kicked out of the mansion for bickering with Subaru on the matter. The recent kidnapping scenes, Subaru comes out from the sky to dropkick her father and try to drag Jirou back. Our guys ask her why is she trying so hard, and it is revealed that Subaru just wants to bring Jirou back to health, as she is scared of losing him, just like she had lost her mother to an illness even after being in a bad state, and Kanada telling him to go back. Jirou somehow forces himself to get on his feet and succeeds in reassuring Subaru that she will not leave her for something like an endless. Jirou gets healthy again after some time and attends school as usual, and they meet up with Subaru on the rooftop. The two have a conversation again, and Subaru remarked that she just didn't want her only friend today all of a sudden before she left after faking Jirou and the end of the Golden Week. In embarrassment leading Kanada to later remark how Jirou doesn't seem to be a chicken anymore. Subaru has never thanked anyone other than her throughout her life. Our story takes a little turn from the usual life of Sakamachi Kinjirou, as we come across a girl from the same academy who looks like she is not really interested in having friends as opposed to other girls. At school back to Jirou, he's walking his way to school as usual, as the same girl is riding her way to school on a scooter when she ends up crashing into our protagonist after getting distracted while she was driving. Even after getting run over by a scooter, Jirou stands up like it's nothing since from all the torture he received before his little accident was like a piece of cake for him to handle. The girl who has knocked up for a moment gets up as well and is genuinely surprised after finding out that Jirou is completely unaffected despite getting hit so badly. The two are having a conversation as Jirou is helping the girl out when he notices her lost glasses, leading to the girl getting embarrassed after misinterpreting Jirou's signal. The girl reveals her name to be Masamune Yuzami, Kureha's classmates who waste no time in beating our guy. She questions Jirou about why he is so close to Subaru, Kono while stepping on him and delivering a deadly stomp to knock our chicken out. Jirou wakes up in the infirmary to Subaru, who remarks that she had found him lying in the middle of the street on her way to school. The two have a conversation where Jirou asks about Kanada and Subaru asks our guy to accompany her in the upcoming school festival. Jirou accepts the request, making Subaru happy, who reveals the theme of Jirou's class at the school festival being a cross-dressing cafe. After teasing Jirou for a bit, Jirou gets out of the infirmary and starts running around in anger, blaming the whole thing that happened to Asami Yuzami turns out to be standing nearby, and she takes Jirou to the rooftop of the school after claiming that he has something important to discuss with our guys. The moment the two reach the roof, Yuzami remarks that she wants Jirou to act as her lover, which makes Jirou take it as a joke, as the guy is quite aware of his own looks. Musami explains further that she wants Jirou to be acting as her boyfriend throughout the period of the school festival, since she is a member of the Heroic S4 as well, and her goal is to weaken the Subaru observation community. After Jirou still seems to not be interested, Yuzami pulls out another card and decides to blackmail Jirou about revealing his relationship with Subaru, ultimately succeeded in making our guy complete. While the negotiations were still being settled, Subaru somehow arrives at the roof looking for Jirou and leaves after punching our guy, got after coming to know that he is the lover of Yuzami Masamune, remarking that Jirou cheated on her since he had already promised to take her to the school festival. Instead, after Subaru had left, Jirou asks Yuzami to keep the blackmailing photo a secret, and she reassures him before asking him out. When on the bridge across the road, Yuzami asks Jirou to have faith in her, and Jirou's responses on trust mark the beginning of the new friendship. The 55th school festival for the Rowan Academy arrives with Subaru working as a Chinese maid in the cafe, wearing a girl's clothing before she heads out to be more complications in the life of poor Sakamachi Kinjirou while he was on a date with Asami. Our chicken's life continues as he has to somehow pass through the challenge that the school festival has brought for him, while dealing with not one, but multiple women at the same time. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel. Well, you have been with you. See you later. Bye bye.